So today, we're going to build a website. But I want you to think about it a little differently. We're not just talking about code and graphics here. Nope, we're talking about building the digital home for your business. You know, an online space that perfectly represents you and welcomes customers 24/7. So let's grab our hard hats and start drafting the blueprint for that home.
And let's just start right here with this question. Seriously, think about it. If your website was a physical shop on a busy street, would its design make people stop? Would they be curious enough to actually open the door and look around? Or would they just walk on by without a second glance? That question, right there, is the key to everything we're about to cover.
Because that's exactly what your website is. It's your digital storefront. In today's world, this is often the very first and sometimes the only interaction someone has with your brand. It's your global billboard, your best salesperson, and your customer service hub all rolled into one. So making it great, yeah, it's not just an option anymore. It's absolutely essential.
Now, what's really interesting here is just how clearly this shows the massive shift in how we connect with people. You know, traditional marketing was kind of like shouting with a megaphone. It was expensive, you could only reach people nearby, and it was totally a one-way broadcast. A website, which is really the heart of digital marketing, just completely rewrites the rules. Suddenly, you've got global reach, it's way more cost-effective, and most importantly, it opens up a two-way conversation with your customers.
So, how do we actually start building this powerful digital home? Well, just like a real house, you don't start by hammering nails. You start with a rock-solid foundation. And trust me, this is the most crucial phase. It's all about defining your why and your who. And this foundation, it's built on two essential pillars. First, you need to be crystal clear on your purpose. What is this site's #1 job? Is it to sell products, to provide information, maybe just build your brand? And second, you have to deeply understand who you're building it for.
These are the questions you absolutely have to answer before you pick a single color or write a single word of text. Who are these people? What do you need the site to actually accomplish? And maybe most importantly, what is the one single thing you want a visitor to do? Because every single decision from here on out is going to be guided by how clearly you answer these questions.
Okay, so once you have that solid foundation of why and who, it's time to put on your architect hat. This next phase is all about drafting the blueprint, creating a detailed plan for what the website will look like, how it's going to function, and what it'll feel like to use, long before you lay the first digital break.
And this blueprint phase really breaks down into 3 core parts. First, you're going to map out the site's structure, planning out what pages you need and how they all logically connect to each other. Second, you'll sketch out the layout and user interface, really focusing on making it intuitive and effortless. And third, you'll start planning the actual content that's going to live on each page.
Now, a key tool for planning your structure is the sitemap. And don't let that technical term throw you off. A sitemap is really just a flowchart, a simple visual map showing every single page on your site and how a user can get from one to the other. It's a brilliant little tool that makes sure nobody ever gets lost in your digital home.
And hey, let's talk about content for a second. Content is not just filler you add in at the end. It's the actual furniture and decor of your website. It's the text, the images, the videos. It's everything that provides value and communicates your message. It's a strategic process that gives your site its personality and its purpose. It is absolutely not an afterthought.
All right, the blueprints are approved. Now for the really exciting part, construction and inspection. This is the stage where your plans, your structure, and your content all start to become a real, tangible thing that people can finally see and interact with.
The build process itself follows a pretty clear timeline. First, you've got to secure your address, that's your domain name, and the plot of land to build on, which is your hosting. Then the actual development kicks off. But, and this is a big but, before the grand opening, you have to do a thorough inspection, testing everything for errors before the big launch.
Now, for the development part, you don't need to be a master coder anymore, which is awesome. This is where a CMS, or content management system, comes in. You've probably heard of them, platforms like WordPress or Wix or Squarespace. They give you the tools to build and manage a professional website yourself, letting you bring your vision to life without writing code from scratch.
So before you even think about hitting that launch button, you have to do this final inspection. This pre-launch checklist is completely non-negotiable. You've got to hunt for any broken links, test your page speed because nobody waits for a slow site, make sure it looks flawless on a phone, and personally fill out and verify that every single contact form works perfectly.
And congratulations! Your digital storefront is live. But the work isn't over. I mean, a beautiful store with no customers is really just a monument, right? Now it's time to officially open for business. And that means attracting visitors and having a real strategy for growth.
Getting people through that digital door requires a promotion strategy. This means using search engine optimization, or SEO, which is just the process of fine-tuning your site so it ranks higher on Google. It means smart social media marketing, going where your audience already hangs out. It means using email to connect with your community, and maybe even some targeted online ads to drive immediate, relevant traffic.
And this right here, this quote just says it all. Attracting visitors is one thing, but the true power of a great website is its ability to become a round-the-clock lead generation tool, constantly working for your business, even while you sleep.
So how do you make that happen? Well, you turn those casual visitors into potential leads with this simple 3-step process. First, offer them genuinely valuable content that solves their problems, like helpful blog posts or downloadable guides. Second, use simple lead capture forms to get their contact info in exchange for that value. And third, guide them every single step of the way with clear, compelling call-to-action buttons.
So there you have it. We've just walked through the entire journey, from a simple idea all the way to a growth-driving machine. You now have the complete blueprint. The only question left is, what will you build?